In life, only a third of people can become successful entrepreneurs. That's it.
What's the mindset of someone who can succeed at launching a business?
The mindset is curiosity. So what you're really trying to do is you're trying to have a dance with the marketplace. And you're trying to come up with a bit of a hypothesis, like a scientist would, how the market responds. And then if you get a good response, you double down on it. And if the response is not so great, you adapt and you change.
I used to work for Steve Jobs in the early 90s. Here's what I learned. There's a concept that he understood that very few people focused on back then in the early 90s of signal to noise ratio. His vision of signal was the top 3 to 5 things you have to get done in the next 18 hours. Not your vision for the business next week or next month or next year, just the next 18 hours you're awake. You're going to get those 3 things or those 5 things done that you have deemed critical for your mission. They must get done today. Anything that stops you from doing that is the noise. So this signal to noise ratio to be successful for Steve Jobs was 80-20. 80 signal, 20 noise. And I knew that to be true with him because he would email me at 2:30 in the morning, expect me to get back to him, because back then we didn't have texts, it was all email. He was right. He was right. And the only other person that I've seen that has a higher ratio than that is Elon Musk. He has no noise.
It's not something for the lighthearted. And I think entrepreneurship, that shared experience of building a business, is for everyone who wants that. Being a founder, not necessarily for everyone.
There's 2 kinds of people in the world. There's people that own the store, and there's people that scrape the shit off the floor. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can have a fantastic life. You won't be shackled to the ups and downs of entrepreneurship, the challenge of it, how hard it is, but you'll never be free. The stage director, Eric, says to the entrepreneurs I've never met, hold, don't mind the camera coming into your face, hold, maybe for 2 minutes. And I'm right there in front of them. I'm 12 feet from them, and I just look at them. Not smiling, not blinking, not frowning, just looking at them. And before they say a single word, I know if they're winners or losers, just like that. And I'm right probably 99% of the time. Maybe I get it wrong, 1 out of 100. I doubt it though. You walk in a room, even though you've practiced, you're in the context of Shark Tank, 20 plus cameras, $1 billion plus in the 5 chairs there. You've been practicing for months your pitch, but it wasn't the real deal. Here you are, cameras are rolling, tape is running. You know you've only got so many minutes. This is your moment. And you're on national television, 100 plus million people will see you in syndication. It's all in your mind, it's all in your mind. It's going through your head. Can you project who you are with your eyes and the way you're standing? Can you project your confidence? Or are you looking at the ground? Or are you looking away from me because you can't stand me looking at you directly without saying anything to you? Or do you push back? Or do you say, I'm gonna stake my aura, I'm gonna stake my ground here. I'm gonna show you I'm ready. And I can feel it, I can see that they're ready to do battle. They're ready to answer, they're ready to present, they're ready, or they're not. And I've taken that out of the Shark Tank. I see that every day in life, I see it. So you have to learn how to project yourself in front of your peers or who you want to lead or teach, or if you're a general or a preacher. That is maybe something you're born with, or maybe you can learn that. I don't know, I don't care. But if you don't have it, you're gonna fail.
I would say that it's so important to be true to yourself in whatever you do. And, I think that I have an incredible gut instinct, and I have very strong feelings that guide the decisions that I make, and that has really led me so well. So I'd be like, have conviction about what it is that you feel deeply and go with that. But by the same token, I'd say, know what you don't know. Because there's a lot of places where I'm weak, and one of my greatest strengths and a superpower of mine has been know what you don't know and hire people into the kind of gaps and the holes that you have in your own knowledge. I feel like I'm so privileged that I've worked with people in one company and been able to bring them into another company and another. And I start almost a lot of things with like a similar group of people. And I love that because they fill in for where I'm not so good. And that's been really key. And then despite everything you've been told, you're gonna have to take some risks. And I think that everything that this kid knew was like, don't be risky, don't take any risks, like figure everything out. And what I've learned is that nothing is going to come easy. I moved to America with a 2-year-old and a newborn baby. And I had no friends here. You know, you forget when you move country, you move from all senses of what is familiar to you. Mm-hmm. And it's very difficult in any stage of your life, but there's a special vulnerability that comes along with having a new baby and having a new venture that you don't really understand how to run at the time. And so I would say like learning to take risks as probably being the best thing that I've done.
We have a rule called the 70-30 rule, which is basically the way to make a transition, because we get asked this question a lot, right? Is like, someone requests a call and they go, well, I have a day job, but I really want to be a speaker. I really want to be an author, or I really want to become a coach. And they go, how do I know when to make the leap? Mm-hmm. And the answer is 70-30, is you go, all right, so right now we got to go, what's the main thing? And that's like 100% of the money's coming from this thing. And then we want to build the new thing. And we build up the new thing into where the new thing is about 30%. And once it gets to 30, then you can make the leap and kind of like go for it. Because it's hard to get it past 30 without going all in, but if you're at least 30% of your income is coming from that, you know it's gonna work.
If you're doing 30% with 10, 15% of your time.
Exactly.
So it's like, okay, I'm doing this on the weekends or at nights or whenever, lunch break or whatever, I'm able to make this money. And now what if I had all my time? Then I could go all in on it, and that 30 could get to, you know, maybe 50 pretty quickly, percent of the money it was making, and then hopefully 100% and beyond.
Yeah, and when you look at money and doing new things, you hear the term runway a lot, and I think that's actually a good metaphor, because it's like, how long is my window to succeed with the new thing? You extend your runway by limiting the amount of cash that you need to get the thing off the ground. So if you keep your expenses down, you work pretty lean, and you stay out of debt, and then you're extending your runway. You're giving yourself more time to take off before the plane just kind of crashed.
But here's what I'll say. Have you ever built Lego?
Back in the day, yeah.
Okay, so get a box of Lego and you look at the front of the box and you see the front of the box and you see the picture and you go, ooh, that'd be fun. And then you tip out all the Lego on the table and it's just a big mess. And you think, how on earth do I put this together? Fortunately, they put instructions in the box and they say, put this one on this one, this piece by this piece by this piece. And if you follow piece by piece by piece, it's actually incredibly easy to build what looks like the front of the box. Now, what happens with entrepreneurship is people see someone's life on Instagram and they go, oh, I want that, right? That's the front of the box. But then they look at all the things that you need to do for entrepreneurship and they go, oh, I've got to hire people and create products and have a website and set up a LinkedIn post every day, and I've got to do all these things. And then they feel like total overwhelm. And what actually is needed is a piece by piece, step by step approach where it's like, okay, first do this, then this, then this, and then you go through and actually you can build something that's on the front of the box. To use another analogy, you and I would jump on an airplane without even thinking twice about our safety. But 100 years ago, it was one of the most dangerous things in the world to do. But they figured out the process, they figured out aerodynamic principles, and the combination of knowing the principles and knowing the process means that it's the safest way to travel. So, I think entrepreneurship is the same. There's a process, there's principles. If you follow process, if you follow principles, you can actually safely build a business.